Hey, my friend, today's short video is going to be about one of my most favorite subjects, which is mindset. It's also a subject that I also struggle with and I have to continually work on. As a matter of fact, over these last few weeks to year, really, it's just been extremely stressful. Got a business, a new lifespan. You hear me talk about it. It's been extremely hard to get this thing to take, hold, get off the runway, get traction behind it, however you want to phrase it. And so it's a challenge. Sometimes I feel like just shelving it, focusing my attention on my other bread and butter business. But again, I'm like a pit bull on a pork chop, and I really don't quit that easy. And that's what obviously where the mindset stuff comes into play. But there's been honestly some good days and better days and best days behind me as well, which again, I never talk about having bad days. I mean, even as bad as something seems to be, we should always be grateful for, being above ground, breathing air still, that kind of thing. But yes, there's obviously always some better and best days. But again, just trying to figure out how to stay sane and get some input from you guys as well. This channel sometimes is a challenge because it takes time, and just trying to find my voice in it as well. Trying to figure out, what kind of content do I want to actually provide? What is the most valuable? I know I have a lot of health and wellness individuals around me. So please leave me comments below. Or you want to hear more stuff about side hustles, about honestly mindset stuff that's required to get your side hustles going. Let me know in the comments, something more mindset stuff, more business structure stuff, whatever it may be. I'd love to hear your comments below. And also, obviously give me a thumbs up on the video if you're liking the content, and subscribe as well, because again, it really helps me out. But yeah, going back on mindset and some of the information that I shared with an individual last week. As a matter of fact, that was one of my great days, was meeting with Aaron Marino and the Alpha Empire and his community, and doing a live stream, or his live podcast, video podcast, whatever you want to call it, for that community that I'm also a part of. Matter of fact, I'll leave that link below in the description so that you can check us out. Awesome group of new entrepreneurs, experienced entrepreneurs like myself and Aaron, and just people that are trying to help each other, take it to the next level. But yeah, I shared with him last week in the community there my opinion on the importance of context versus content. We'll also label that as mindset and skill set, but I emphasize how much more important context is over content. And I wanted to kind of back up on that and rephrase that a little bit for anybody that might have seen me on the live, as well as just any new viewers or my community here that couldn't obviously see that podcast. But I had mentioned, again, context being so much more important when, like I said, I'll break down context and content too before I go into what I really should have said in that meeting or in that podcast. But really, context versus content, it's kind of like the glass versus the water that's in it, right? The context is the glass, the structure that holds it together, and the water is the stuff that you put inside. Another analogy that I like to really lean towards is the balloon concept. And that's where, again, obviously a balloon, we need to stretch it typically before we put any liquid or gas in it. That also is involved in our lives and making ourselves better, as well as we have to learn how to stretch. But when we stretch, right, that allows more content. So as you blow into that balloon or put liquid into that balloon, it starts stretching, and it obviously holds more content. And if you stretch it too fast, or the rubber is old and is not worked on, essentially, it is not new and fresh and maintained, it's going to break. Same thing with the context, right? So if you don't work on your mindset, you can work on the skill set like crazy, but if you're not working on the thing that holds it together, being the balloon, your skill set or your content's not going to do anything for you. And I'd stressed really how context, in my opinion, was much, much more important. Realistically, though, I'd kind of got to back up and rephrase and say, hey, they're actually both really important. And it's about balance as well. So you really have to work on the mindset as well as the skill set. It's somewhat equal amount. I would say I still lean towards context a little bit more because you really have to have that support structure, but both are really, really important to really make the magic happen and achieve levels that, again, are probably beyond your wildest dreams. And they can happen, but it's about working on both of those. So I wanted to clear that up, that they both, skill set and mindset, are important. Context and content, however you want to phrase those, just know that there really, really needs to be a balance with those. Now, when it comes to skill set, there are a couple different ways I look at skill sets, and a couple categories, I guess, however you want to call it. One being a high value skill set, and the other one being a high leverage skill set. And to give you the analogies for both, The high value skill set, still basically exchanging time for money. But it's typically a skill set that requires a lot more education, maybe like a neurosurgeon, that kind of thing, heart surgeon, whatever it may be, in a field that requires real special training, usually is going to involve high compensation. But the problem with that, just like a brain surgeon or neurosurgeon, they are only able to work on one patient at a time. Now, you could say that, I guess, or you could argue that they could work on multiple patients, but I don't want to be that patient to you. I want them to focus on my brain instead of bumping to different tables and working on other people's noggins. But I think you see where I'm going is they can really only work on one patient at a time, right? Yes, albeit they're going to get a lot of money for that surgery, but again, they're limited to that 24 hours in a day, just like all of us. So how does that compare to a highly leveraged skill set? Well, the highly leveraged skill set is typically a skill set that really any of us can obtain. Now, obviously, there's some nuances there, like maybe an actor or a singer, right? We're not all gifted with a singing voice, and even acting is pretty difficult, although more of it's just being comfortable and getting out there on stage and doing that kind of thing. Some of us aren't, not in tune with that. That's not my forte. It's hard for me to get on this damn camera, but I think you see what I'm saying. You've got a skill set that's much more attainable for the average Joe like me or maybe you. But the difference is I can leverage that skill set. And so why I say like somebody that's in front of a camera or a YouTuber, professional athletes, those kind of things, they leverage entertainment. So a lot of these things are revolving around entertainment and having a lot of eyeballs on them, like even politicians, right? That's just one of the biggest crazy entertainment shows that there are out there. What does that do? That always puts them in front of more people. They generate a lot more income for themselves. Sometimes it's illegal. We won't get into that. But point is they've got more eyeballs, right? So they're leveraging their asset. Some of these high value skilled sets, you can't leverage those in the same way. Now, there's obviously exceptions. Elon Musk, maybe Zuckerberg, you like him or hate him, that kind of thing, whatever, right? They've kind of got a combination of both, and a lot of people do. That's obviously the ones that really tend to achieve some amazing levels. But for most of us, trying to leverage those skill sets that are attainable for the masses, essentially, and getting ourselves out there to where we can make those little pieces of income off of those things that are around entertainment or creations and say social media, whatever it may be, affiliate marketing, right? Those are things that I teach as well to help people leverage essentially the power of the internet and selling nutraceuticals or whatever it may be, working with my other bread and butter business. Same thing with affiliate marketing style things. These are things, again, that the average Joe, as long as they're willing to put the time in, they can learn and they can leverage much better than going back to school and trying to become a brain surgeon or a heart surgeon, something like that. Again, not to knock, that's great. They come across as a lot more valuable to society, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But if you're looking to achieve these levels of financial security and legacy, tends to be a little bit easier path, in my opinion, to, again, go with highly leveraged skill sets, essentially. And I probably called those assets back there somewhere, but apologize. Again, I'm always thinking about assets, but here we're talking about skill sets. But either way, hopefully you get the point. But that's just kind of what I wanted to share a little bit today. The struggles that I'm having, like I said, it's all about working on improving your ability to stick with it, to persevere. So we've really got to work on this because it is stressful. We're all going through these same trials and tribulations, however you want to say it. And some of us to more degrees than others that are putting our neck out on the line a little bit more. And that's how, again, the risk is where you get the reward. Hopefully that enlightens you a little bit about mindset and can help you maybe with some things moving forward. Again, I wanted to share just some of the struggles that I have because we all have them. And just depending on where you're trying to go, probably going to have more speed bumps along the way, especially when you take that the non-well-traveled path, right? Like the entrepreneurs typically do. But yeah, that's some of the value and stuff like I love bringing to you guys, but please leave me in the comments, does this help? Do you want something else? Do my health care individuals and health and wellness individuals need some other content to help them better themselves, or that would help them get off in the right direction, or take the right steps to do what they want to do and get out of maybe the rat race that they're in? Maybe you're in a retail environment or something like that. So what kind of value or what extra value can I provide in these videos? I'd love to hear it in the comments again. But that's really all I have for you today. Hope that gave you a little bit of value. But yeah, I'm just here to help keep you on track, keep you motivated, keep you in motion, taking action, and doing the things that'll help you to get to that next level and set yourself free. Because remember, you're never too old or too young to get on that path of freedom. You just got to get started. Love you guys. Until the next video.